Back. We were able to take a couple of days and just sort of get ourselves back together after the great experience last week and the 5 games in 8 days, the 4 games in a row. And so we were able to just watch a little film, do a little weightlifting, get some of the kids that didn't play a lot had not played in 1 week, had not, Ibby Watson and John Teskey had not run the floor in 1 week. So we made sure that we got some things for 2 reasons, to keep them in shape, but the other reason, so we could have a good practice today, because they would get gassed and we'd look like $1 million because they were gassed. So we had a good hour workout yesterday after an hour of film. Oklahoma State presents some huge challenges. They've changed their style a little bit as the year went on. That they were, I think they had 19 steals against Georgetown earlier in the year. 19 steals, I'd never heard of that. And then no catch, the Stephen F. Austin type of defense that Brad was playing. When they got into the Big 12, I understand, right? They were close, but not close enough. Changed the style. It's still got good defense, but not forcing as many turnovers. So don't know what they'll do against us, but we got to be ready for everything. So they are offensively really a big challenge. That Evans is an elite player both offensively and defensively. They got a great plan with a lot of experience and a lot of guys that really are during their year last year where it was an off year for them, but it was one that was they were in every game, in most games, in a really competitive Big 12. The guys got a lot of experience. They're hungry. They're good, and they're probably. I never talk about our seeds, but they're probably more like a 6 or 7 seed because of the way they played this year. They're a really good team. So I say it's 2 really good teams that have got the most out of their talent this year, and it's going to be a great game.
Coach, you played a couple up-tempo teams this year. Oklahoma State is going to be another one.
Yep.
What insights can you take from your players' response to when you played UCLA or Virginia Tech?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, the biggest thing is transition defense, that if you, when it is up-tempo, you have to forget about what just happened, whether it's a great play in offense or a turnover or a missed shot, because they're coming back down and they can just score in bunches. And you can see how that UCLA game was. I think we took a lead of 6 or 7 points, and all of a sudden it was tied at half. We were going back and forth, and all of a sudden we're down by 10 with 2 or 3 minutes to go. So events can change quickly, and while we do want to run and we want to take the advantages of that, we got to make them. We got to make them spend some time with their offense, that they don't get easy looks.
Chris?
Obviously, human nature, when you have a sense of accomplishment like that, to maybe relax and exhale a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you sense that they're still hungry for
Well, I
this?
haven't had that. We haven't had that type of workout yet.
Mm-hmm.
But the theme yesterday was your back has been to the wall. Well, now it is to the wall. Now you lose and go home. So you have performed great with that mindset, and now it's reality. So there should be you're well versed in that, in playing with that philosophy.
Brandon?
Coach, Oklahoma State size, they're a smaller team. They're pretty good at crashing the boards, and kind of pose DJ and Mo that kind of more unique challenge than what they've seen all season. So what have you kind of seen from the film about their front court, and where can DJ and Mo really take advantage of their size?
Well, I think we pride ourselves in being able to be flexible to whatever we see. And you see a lot of, we guard ourselves every day, and that's who they're guarding. So we have had the challenge. I mean, I've never seen it like it's been, where there's been a 4-man on every team that was just a man-child that we saw 3 games in a row. Our last 3 games, that 4-man was a very difficult matchup for us. And now that 4-man is a completely different player. He is a shooter, he's a skilled player. But that's what DJ and Duncan guard against each other every day. I don't think we could ever say Duncan and DJ are guys that are power players. And at the 5-man, when they're 13 minutes a game or 15 minutes a game, they play a little bit smaller there. You know, we have seen that several times, and we can size down, or Mo can do his job as well. I don't see it as a huge challenge because we're so familiar guarding each other every day.
Noah?
John, the guard matchup's gonna get a lot of attention in this game, presumably. What have you seen from Evans? And sort of
He's
similarities
he
and
is
differences with Evans?
he is Nate Mason is who he is. He's Nate Mason, and probably not as strong, every bit as quick, and he's really going to be a challenge. I mean, you can do whatever you want with him, and if it's a one-on-one situation, he's going to get to the rim, he's going to shoot it in, or he's really an elite passer, and then he's an elite defender as well. So really excellent player. And then Forte, I went through the stats with our guys to say, okay, Derek, in the league, we just pay attention to league stats right now. I think it's 48 threes. Well, Forte's got 10 more than him. And Duncan's really a good shooter, right? Yeah, but Carroll's got 10 more than him. So I think those are estimate numbers, but in other words, you look at these, Derek and Duncan can really shoot. Well, these guys can shoot better. So it gives that feeling, those guys can really shoot the ball. They got a great mix to their offense, and they got, you know, enough guys that they see the ball, they're very unselfish.
John, you had a week to look back on everything that happened,
Mhm.
from the plane accident to winning the Big Ten title. You know, has it all kind of hit you and your team yet, the events of the last week, or are you still riding on a certain surge of adrenaline?
Yeah, things don't hit me like that. I think maybe someday, you know, I'll look back at different things, but probably not. I mean, I just keep rolling. I'm not a big reflection guy. You know, I'm just, what's next? What's next, not what just happened. So I can't answer that for the team, but I can answer for me. You know, I do hope for the rest of my life, the perspective that we all gained after those events, I hope I never lose that again, but I will. I'm sure I'll be worrying about some play instead of smelling the roses again sometime, but I'm gonna try not to.
Mark?
John, you've had a lot of success in the first games of these postseason tournaments. Has your preparation evolved over the years? Does it change, or you find something early and just kind of stay with it?
With 3 or 4 days to prepare, I don't know if we've done anything different, whether it was, it's very similar to the Big Ten, to the tournaments, right, to the tournaments. So we virtually never do anything about the second round opponent at all. We just don't even care about it. We got a day, they got a day. If they want to spend time on that, they can do that, but we virtually don't care about the second round opponent. And maybe we beat more second round opponents, so we did that, but we concentrate one day at a time. Let's do what we do all year long, but usually we have one extra day to do it, and that really helps us. But I think what I have changed more from my days at Canisius, and it helped at Canisius, I think at the end I understood of the amount of rest, and don't over-prepare. Don't too much for these games, because you're either gonna need it for the next game, or in the case of our game with Ohio University a few years ago, that we practiced so hard that week, we were missing layups, we were maybe practiced too hard or too much. So I sort of try to back that off, like I did at Canisius, like I did at Richmond.
That Ohio game was a kind of a one you examined.
It was a
right
Friday
before?
night game. When I look at a Friday night game, right, and we had all week, and I think we got knocked out of the tournament on Saturday in a semifinal game, so a couple days off. Let's just show up tomorrow. It was more mental. It was more mental. So we didn't do anything just to make sure that it happened, and it all came around. Now Trey had a tough day, and we all had a tough day. But you should say, okay, maybe it had nothing to do with that. But I said, I'm not going to let that happen again. The next year when we went to play South Dakota State, I made sure we adjusted. But I remember it happening at Canisius as well. I think something was happening. We were supposed to practice at Lemoyne or something on our way to Albany, and something happened, and we couldn't practice, and then we played great. So it was sometimes you learn the hard way.
You mentioned Oklahoma State shooters. Your team lately has been pretty good at limiting three-point attempts. What's been the key to that, and how do you try to limit what Oklahoma State can do?
Tell them, don't give them three-point attempts. Don't let them get three-point attempts. So, that's Billy Donlin, 100% here. We were not giving up a lot of attempts, even though the percentages were extraordinary in the early season. Now, I think we're a little quicker. Yeah, you've heard me say in here that there was this tape delay, that we would just leave, it was like, who's got them? It was just a slow process of understanding what we call quick man, who's the next guy when you're in rotations. And it was hard to understand, but if you're out there, it takes time for some young men to do it. Some are gonna be quicker than others. So we're better at that. I think there's a better sense of urgency, and they like winning, and so it's proven now that if we can limit the threes, you limit the makes, and you can win some more games.
John?
Derek's obviously doing a lot of things really well right now, but as you crunch on the video, is there an aspect or two of his game that just jumps out like, this is really different now?
Yeah, pace. His pace is really different. That he will see action. I think ever since people started switching on us, he has really loved that. That people switch. Okay, they don't think I can score over this big dude or get around this big dude or create for my teammates. And it was a little, maybe, I don't know whether he took it or how he took it, but at any rate, that really, I think, has evolved as he had incredible freedom during that time, because it was a challenge. What are you gonna do when they keep switching? You just can't, there's not plays you run, you gotta isolate. And once he got into isolation, he really started making some plays. So now when he's not in isolation, he's really comfortable.
Adam?
John, you mentioned,
Where?
right, you mentioned you guys' back to the wall mentality and that you guys have had that, and it seems like yourself, the team's been pretty even through all that. How do you balance that from now, during the regular season, entering March, as now being a pretty trendy pick? A lot of people are, expecting a run from you guys now.
I don't think we even talk about it, actually. I mean, this is, we just gotta keep doing what we're doing and not worrying about, any of that. We'll just keep playing the way we've been playing, it's just the routine. When you go through the routines that we do, like we'll have the typical practice that we had 2 days before. Last Tuesday, we'll have a typical practice today, because it's a game Friday, that's the day before, we call it. And that will be it, but just regular routine. I'm not trying to balance anything. I'm just it's our routine, and then tomorrow, when we practice, we'll practice on-site and off-site. It will be very, very limited. No power outages this time, but there will be, I hope, but it will be a practice where we learned a lot from that as well.